Hey everybody, Bill with American Liberty Fighters. It's been over a month probably since I put out a video. I've tried to put out a video before. There's been a lot of things going on. I'm putting out a couple videos now. I'm going to put out this video. Basically it's my thoughts on what's going on in the political realm, you might say, there's some other people that have put out some videos that are questioning how this entire process works. And I think a lot of people just don't understand the way the process works. I mean, you got Donald Trump screaming and hollering that Ted Cruz is lying, is cheating. And I can't quite wrap my head around why anybody would support a man who doesn't seem to grasp the political process, who doesn't seem to, maybe I should say, who doesn't seem to grasp how the election cycle works. In a presidential race, before you go down to see who the nominees are, the Republicans go and the Democrats go and they campaign and they win delegates. The Republican side, which I'm more interested in, I could care less about the Democrat side. I don't care for either Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. Neither of them are what I would consider even close to being electable or close to being what I would think would be a good candidate for the presidency. But on the Republican side, you have Donald Trump still, and you have Ted Cruz, and then you have John Kasich, which I probably didn't pronounce his name right, but I don't care because I really don't like him either. He's more of a liberal than he is a Republican. He's more of a Democrat than a Republican, I guess you could say, in his views. Ted Cruz being the one that I'm actually in support of, and anytime I say that or anytime I comment on that, it seems that you always hear with the people that want to say they support Donald Trump that Donald Trump's going to make America great again, and that if you're not in support of Trump, you're not a patriot, or you're not this or you're not that, you're worthless or whatever. And it's always we the people are backing Donald Trump, and we the people are speaking out, and you're not going to keep us quiet. But whenever you ask those people, what are you backing this candidate for? What are you supporting him for? What are the reasons that you can give that you would support Donald Trump, who, by the way, in my view, is a worse candidate than Ted Cruz or John Kasich, because he's been a progressive liberal his entire life. He says, or he likes to say, he is an outsider to the political game. But if you look at it, if you're paying politicians to get your way, or if you're paying off others to attain the goals you want as a businessman, aren't you part of the political problem that everybody says they're pissed off and tired of? And then you back this guy, you say he's your candidate, and then you say Ted Cruz is a liar, a cheater, let's see, he's evidently unfaithful to his wife, which makes him a horrible Christian in everybody's view. You know, I'm a Christian. I don't know Ted Cruz personally. I don't believe that he cheated on his wife, so I don't really care to hear about it. There's no proof that he did, but everybody wants to say he did. Everybody brings out that Ted Cruz is a horrible candidate, and I don't understand why. You have Donald Trump, who he is a womanizer, or has been a womanizer. Maybe he's faithful to his wife now. I don't know. And honestly, that's a personal matter. I don't care. For me, it's if you don't know what the Constitution is or has in it and what it stands for, you're not the candidate for me. And if a man believes that eminent domain is a good thing in any way, shape, or form, he doesn't know the Constitution of the United States, because nowhere in the Constitution does it say eminent domain is a great thing. You can't be an owner of your property and then say you agree with eminent domain. Because when you agree with eminent domain, you're agreeing that the federal government or the state government can come in and seize your property because it's for the good of them that they do so. So how is that constitutionally possible? How is Donald Trump a conservative? Does he have conservative views? Does he really talk about conservative views, or does he just say he's going to make America great? You bring these things up and people that support Trump want to tell you how horrible you are. For me, if you don't understand the process that goes into running for the presidency, you don't really have any need of running for the presidency. And if all you're going to do is whine, cry, and bitch about the process, then maybe you should be the one dropping out and let somebody else who knows the process and who actually stands for constitutional conservativity, well, you know what I mean. Maybe you should allow them the opportunity to go and do for we the people what no other candidate has done in the past few years for we the people. And just to go ahead and clarify here, the Republican process for picking delegates or for picking a presidential candidate to run for president for the Republican Party has not changed. In over 150 years have changed their rules, but the process hasn't changed. If a candidate doesn't reach the 1,237 delegate mark before the convention, then they go into a contested convention. It's been that way since the 1860s. What's changed? Who's cheating? Who's changing the political process? No one. It's Donald Trump crying and whining to all the news outlets, and all the news outlets now backing Donald Trump, which isn't supposed to happen, but it does. And then all of the other people who want to follow Donald Trump decide, oh, well, hell, that's right, Donald Trump's the outsider, so he's got to be right. He's finally the one that's pointing out all the problems with the Republican Party and with the political process. He's pointing out all the corruption. No, not really. He's the one screaming the loudest about something he doesn't like. When he doesn't win, he doesn't like it, he cries. If it were Ted Cruz that were losing, he wouldn't be screaming and whining and crying, hopefully. And if he were, I'd be doing the same thing now about Ted Cruz that I am about Donald Trump. Because I really don't care for someone who's going to sit there screaming and crying about losing. You either learn the process, do your homework, actually get out there and win the votes of the people and win the delegates to actually win the nomination, or you go into contested convention and you see if you can win then, which I doubt he can because he won't have the votes and he's not the right candidate. I don't want a president who's going to do the same thing that the current administration, the current president is doing. I don't need another president in the White House, and America doesn't need another president in the White House who thinks because he has a pen and a phone that he can do whatever he wants. I honestly don't need a president who's going to sit in the White House and tell everybody that he's going to he's going to allow debate on all issues, that all issues are up for debate, all issues are up for I can't even think of the word that I want to say now, but it amazes me how many constitutional conservative Republican people, or people who say they're constitutionally conservative, will back Donald Trump when he is neither constitutional, nor is he conservative in any way, shape, or form. Yet they back him. And they give no proof of why. They give no reason of why. They just tell you that if you don't, then you're not patriotic and you suck. Among other words, which I won't say. But I've probably gone on far enough. It's very irritating and aggravating to me because I actually ask questions. I don't throw out the fact that, you know what, I'm a supporter of Ted Cruz and I think Ted Cruz is the right candidate, and I don't do that and then not give a reason why. I don't do that and tell those who are supporters of Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, or John Kasich, for that matter. I don't tell them they're wrong, they're ignorant, they're fools, they're stupid. I don't tell them they're unpatriotic. I don't agree with them. That's plain and simple. I just don't agree with them. But I'm able to do that in a respectful manner. But it seems like the leading candidate at this point is throwing out there to all his supporters that they don't need to be respectful of anybody else. They don't need to do that. They don't need to have dialogue. They just need to, I don't know, be violent, call them names, be rude, and act like total fools. So, just my thoughts on it, just how I feel. You don't have to feel the same way. You don't have to think the same way I do. If you don't, that's great, whatever. I just, you know, I think it's time to have an actual sit-down conversation with people where you actually have a conversation. I'm so tired of hearing how he's going to make America great when he can't. He obviously doesn't understand the separation of powers either. He doesn't understand what the executive is allowed and what the judicial is allowed and what the legislative is allowed. The legislative is supposed to be doing everything legislatively. They're supposed to make law, change law. Judicial is only supposed to weigh in on whether a law is constitutional or not, and send it back to the legislative in order for them to change it, vote on it, and keep it the same, or abolish the law after a vote. The executive isn't supposed to be writing law, making law. So I ask the same question of anybody who supports Ted Cruz. How does Ted Cruz think that he, at this point, can go into the White House as the president and abolish the ACA, change immigration law? How does he think he can do that? How does Donald Trump think he can do that? How does any candidate think they can do that? They can't do that alone. They have to do that with the Congress. Or they are also unconstitutional in their actions. So you can't say something and then be as unconstitutional about it as everybody else. You can't say that you don't agree with Obama using executive power or executive actions as being unconstitutional and then go right back and do the same thing yourself. So I don't agree with that. So that's a question I have actually asked supporters of Ted Cruz, and I have actually sent out there for Senator Cruz to give an answer of. It surprises me that nobody in the media, nobody would ask these questions of the candidates. All they want to ask is stupid questions of candidates. They don't really want to get to what the candidates should actually be running for. You know, what changes are you going to make? What is your platform? What are your policies that you want to get enacted? They don't want to ask that. They just want to ask why you're against Ted Cruz, or why you hate Ted Cruz, or why you hate Donald Trump, or what do you think about Donald Trump saying this, or what do you think about Ted Cruz saying this? It's stupidity, and for someone to come out and say we the people back Ted Cruz, well, last I looked, I'm part of we the people too. My vote counts as much as yours. So you don't speak for we the people unless you don't consider me as part of we the people. I'm part of we the people. This isn't an oligarchy. This isn't some kind of because Donald Trump said he should be the winner, he should be the nominee right now. that he gets what he wants. That would be like saying two football teams, Pee-wee teams, went out and played a game, and Team A was better, and they won, and they scored more, and Team B didn't do so well, but they all got an award. They all got a little something to say that they were a participant. I kind of hate that. I think that's the dumbest thing ever. I think that's why we have people that we have today in the age group of the younger generations that think they're entitled and think they're owed everything in the world, because they're all participants. So, just my thoughts. Think of it as you will. Agree, disagree. That's your right, as it's my right to agree or disagree with you. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Every subscription helps out. If you like my video, click the like. If you dislike the video, click the dislike. And as usual, like, dislike, leave a comment. Tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, tell me what you agreed with, tell me what you didn't agree with. Let me know. I enjoy reading the comments that people leave, and I will actually do my best to comment back. So anyhow, hope everybody is having a great weekend. Hope everybody's weekend goes great the rest of the weekend. Again, thanks for listening to me ramble on, and until next time, God bless. Thank you.